Welcome everybody, welcome to the flower patch. My name is Iris Smith, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Welcome guys, I hope you're all right and you've had a wonderful evening. Today I had a request about, I think about 8-9 days ago, from somebody asking if I could do a hat box arrangement. They wanted it in sort of like light browns and white. So that's what we're going to do today. And I also had a request from a lovely new subscriber called Judith. Is saying that she tends to struggle making bows, if I could do or show her how to make a bow. I did reply to the lady and say, well, I will do a bow today, and I won't do it in advance. I will do it while I do the video. So for the bow or ribbon, I've chose the gold. It's more like a tanny gold colour of the ribbon with the frayed edge. And I've also got this one I've chosen where it's like a natural background with gold and a little bit of silver leaf pattern in the center, and I thought we could use those. I've also got out a hat box, and the hat box I've got out is an 8-inch one. I've placed in some stones at the bottom for a bit of weight, and I've got some styrofoam, and I've wrapped it up in wreath wrap and then just placed some floral tape across just to hold it on or in place in the hat box. The lid does come off, which I'm not going to use the lid for anything unless I was doing an arrangement where it was like that and the flowers were inside. But I am going to just sit it at the bottom. Right, so that is that. I've got my cat here. He's whining again. Anyway, I think he wants to sit on my lap, and I can't have it when I'm working. But today I've got out some of our milky white and also the slight white, cream with tan bits in of our wheat, or some people call it harvest, but it is wheat. I've got out some of the eucalyptus scenario that I got from Dunhelm, which is £2.50 for one stem, and it's like also a milky white with gold around the tips as well. This is a garland that I have, and I've placed these. I pulled the garland apart. I've got a couple more up there, fresh garlands, but I've got the oak leaf. Is it the oak? I can't. Oh, they look like maple and oak. I always get mixed up. But we've got those where they've got like a creamy peach type look colour with some brown tones on the leaf as well. I've got out this, what I used the other day. I've got some more out, and I've had a look what it is called, and it is the lotus bush. So that's what it's called. And I've cut some longer stems out this time. I have not cut any short ones because I want to have these for the bit of the height as well. I've also got out some of these. Now when I looked at the delivery note, they do say on them that they are Delphiniums. So I guess where they're just starting to flower. So I've got these out, and I want some of these in as well for the height. I've got out again what we used also the other day, 3 more of my picks where they've got all the brown tones in, the cream, and also they are like flocked or slightly, yeah, flocked I think, with a bit of furry touch to them. But we've got some white seed clusters in them and some pine cones as well, and a little bit of fern also. So I've got 3 of those out. I've just got out, I've pulled off, I've got a garland of this as well. So I've just pulled off, I think about 8, I'm not sure, 7 or 8 of my coffee coloured berries also. And for our floral, I've got out some more of my rosebuds in the like sandy tone and also champagne as well. And I've just cut 3 pieces off of my Chinese lantern, not big. I wasn't sure if I was going to place them in, so I didn't cut too many off. Oops, I've just pulled one out. But if I do need any more, I'll just go and grab some more. I've also got these out again as well. There's little baby thistles. So we've got those again for a bit of the rough texture. And I've also got out some of our Allium spray in the cream colour with the like an olive and sandy tone or tan coloured tone mixed in together on the leaves. And I've just got one of our proteas out as well in white. Now, I was looking at the head on this. It's a bit moving a little bit, so I may have to keep it and glue around it to keep it in place. But if it doesn't work, then I will just go and get another one. So we've got that as well. So that's what we've got to create our beautiful arrangement today. And I thought, first of all, I want to do the bow for the lovely new lady Judith. And I'm going to bring the camera down as well so you can get a close-up of me doing the bow. Let me just place these on here and just undo this roll because it's a new roll. And then I will bring the camera down and we will get started. So one moment, everybody. Right, so let's see how we go about this again. It's on my newsstand. Excuse my fingers. I hope. Now I'm going to bring it down for the bow so that Judith can get a close-up onto the bow that I'm making. And then I will lift it slightly for when we're doing the arrangement. Oh, and I'd just like to say thank you for Diane. A lovely lady sent me a picture of something that she had created, an arrangement, and oh my gosh guys, it was beautiful. Lots of colour, lots of movement, and the placement of her floral and foliage was perfect. It was all balanced out and it was lovely. So keep up your good work, Diane. I really it was stunning. Right, for the new lady Judith, I've got a bow maker. I don't buy the easy bow maker. It is a lot of money, especially in the UK. Some people sell it for about 40 something pound, but you can get things like this off Amazon, and this is only around £7 or £8 for this. You do get 3 prongs, but I only keep the 2 in. And that's all I use. That's all you need. So first of all, I get the bow that I want to place at the back, which, yeah, it's going to be this one. And I choose how long I want my tail ends. So sometimes, I mean, depending on the size of the arrangement, I may choose 6, 8, 10, depending. If it's a big swag or some wreath, I may choose the tail ends sometimes, not all the time, which could be 12-inch plus. But the tail end that I'm going to use, which as you're looking at it, is you place it at the top. And then I place it in and then I twist. And I just twist once towards me. Then I choose how long or I want my loops. This only goes up to 6 inch, but if you've got a mat, you can place the 6 inch mark on, and if you want to go to 7 or 8, just add on with the squares on your mat an extra inch. So I'm going to keep this at 6 inch. I do fold mine over in the center to go down in between the two prongs. That's just something I've always done. So measure it to your 6 inch mark and then twist it towards yourself again. So the ribbon becomes upside down. So then I go towards the 6 mark on the right side, or it would be the left maybe if you're right-handed and you're looking at it, and then I measure 6 again. So I want more than just one loop either side, I want 2 either side, so I do it again. Twist towards me only once, you don't have to keep twisting. And then because I'm keeping it at the 6 inch mark, I will measure it with the loop I've done first and measure it on top of that. And I'm just pressing it down so it stays in place until I decide to move it to how I'd like it to sit. Then you twist again when you go through, measure it with this side, and then there you have 2 loops either side. Then with the tail end, if you don't want to go any further, you can keep making as many loops as you want, but once you've stopped making the amount of loops, decide on how long you want the tail end. I'm just going to cut it by eye and around here. I'm not going to dovetail this because it does fray if you dovetail it, so I'm just going to turn the ends over. So then I'm going to choose this ribbon. You can use as many different types of ribbon as you like. I do preferably prefer to just use 2 main, or sometimes 3 different ribbons. So now as I face that towards you, this is how you would be doing it. I would then get my other tail end and I would bring it to the opposite side diagonally, measure with this one. So it's the same length, and that's how you do it. I'm going to try and do it backwards so you can see. So then you twist towards yourself like I've done, and as you can see, your pattern is now underneath. Then you decide on how long you want to do your next loops. You can keep them at 6 inch or go lower. I tend to go to 5.5, just so you can see the tops of the ones at the bottom showing through as well. So I measure up to 5.5, where you can see it here, and that's 1. Then you twist towards yourself again, just once, so your pattern is upside down, and then you bring it over through your 2 dowels, measure it at 5.5 inch again, which is about there, and bring it down. So I want another 2 of these as well. So then you twist it towards yourself, and I want to keep these at 5.5 inch, so I'm measuring with the first one I did. So I will just press that down to the end, and then I get my right hand and I press it down there just to hold it in place while I twist. So then you twist towards yourself again. Excuse me. And then I fold it in half just to place it through the dowels. It's just a habit of mine. Some people do, some people don't. It doesn't matter. And then I've gone to 5.5 inch again, and like that. So then I've got 2 of each colour here. So then I bring my tail end towards me. I measure it with this one. You don't have to have them the same length. You can, you know, alternate and have them staggering different lengths. And then to do the dovetail, I fold it in half, and then where the folded piece is here, I cut down towards the wire on the opposite edge in the corner, and that gives you a dovetail. So that's that. So I want to place on another one of these. So I'm going to just fold this edge over again, and I'm going to, because I've got the gold there and I've got this one here, I'm going to bring this one on this side again, because I want it to be gold, then the natural, then the gold. So then I'll bring that in on the right side again, measure the tail end, and I'll just press it down. Then twist towards yourself. And now I'm only going to go to 5 inch. So I'm going down half an inch on every, every different ribbon. So that's at 5. And I'm only going to do 1 loop of either. So then, twist towards yourself. So let's measure it on 5, which is there. And then that is all. Then measure it. I'm measuring it with the length of the longer tail ends and just folding these over. And then for the center, I want a centerpiece. So I'm going to use the other ribbon. And all I'm going to do, if you want another tail end like that, that's fine. Then you can do it and then make your center loop. I don't. I just only want 3 tail ends. So all I do, because that is 5 inch, I'm going to go to 1 inch less. So I'm going to go to 4 inch. So I'm just going to fold that over like that. Excuse me. Place it in. Look for the 4 inch, which is there. And then that is it. That's my centerpiece. I will cut this off the same as that one. So I haven't got long tail ends here. And this piece will be in the middle. So then I get my cable tie. You can use wire or pipe cleaners, Chanel sticks. And then I just lift up the loops that I've created and go under the long tail ends as well till I reach the dowels in the center. And I've done the same at the top as well, under the tail ends. Place on my cable tie. I don't tie it tight, not to start with, because before I take it off of the bow maker, I arrange my bows. So I've got 2 gold here. I'm holding the center one because I know that's going to go in the center. So I've got the one here on, which is going to go here, and the other one on this side goes directly opposite. So it goes there. So now the 2 natural ones I've got, I'm going to bring the next one up to the top, and the other one on this side on the top down to the bottom. So the 2 top pieces of this ribbon are diagonal. So then the 2 bottom pieces of this ribbon, I'll bring one down and then the other one diagonal to it and go up. So you've created a letter X. So then with the top piece on the gold frayed ribbon, I can just open it. Then I will get that and I will leave one here in the center, and then I will bring the other one down here, because if you've noticed, the 2 gold ones are in the same place. So then I do the same with this one. The one on the top comes up to the top. Sorry, it stays in here, and then the one down let me just grab it. I can't grab it, I've flattened it too much. And this one I will bring down here. So I've created an X in between the two, these I've created a letter X with my ribbon. So once I've done that, I just grab my cable tie, pull it off, and as you can see, there's a groove where your dowels were sitting. That is where your cable tie needs to go, because that is the exact center. Then I bring my cable tie around the back. I get a piece of floral wire. Let me just get a piece off, I've forgotten. And then I go through the center of the cable tie, the loop of the cable tie, pop it through, and then pull on the cable tie tight. Excuse me. I will then cut off the excess of the cable tie. I have 2 pieces of the floral wire I've popped through here. Place them together, and then get your bow, not your wire, your bow, and twist your bow just a couple of times. That's all that is needed. So then they've come together at the back. So then you can turn it over. Now I've got these little tail ends which are too long, so I'm going to cut them much shorter, because I only need a little piece for the cable tie to hold them in position. So then that is my centerpiece. So now, as you can see, I have placed my ribbon or my loops in the position I want them for when I take them off the bow maker. So then all I do is then just get my bow in my hand, and I just fluff up my loops. In the position that I had them. Which is like that. And then I've got my tail ends here, where I've got the gold, the natural, and the gold. And up here I've got the same, the gold, the natural in the center, and then the gold as well on the smaller tail ends. So that is my bow, which I've now created for me to place in to my arrangement. So that is the bow complete. So I hope that helps, Judith. Sorry I haven't done a full tutorial on it. I have got, I think, some tutorials where I've done some bows, but I really need to update it. So I'm now finished with my ribbon. So if you want to make more ribbons, if you're doing a wreath, just once you've done one, start again and with your bow maker, and then do it again. So that is our bow. Right, I'm just going to bring the camera up a bit, guys, just so we can hopefully see. I don't want to press anything. See what I'm going to be doing. I'll bring it in as close as possible. I just want to measure when I've got the hat box on my workbench in place, to see if you would be able to see that. I may have to, I wonder if I extend or keep it at that height, or bring it up a little bit more. Sorry about this, guys. Let me just alter the way it's sitting. So I'm going to place it like that so you can see. Hopefully that's okay. Right, let me just have a quick drink. Right. So I want to start with, where's the protea as well? I may place some glue in here. I haven't got my glue gun on. I'm very naughty for that. I'm going to just put some glue and squeeze it in there to hold it a bit more. I'm going to wipe off any excess glue. Because I want the protea as the centre floral. So we'll keep that there to dry. So let's get in our foliage. If you've noticed, I've not got any green out. The only green we've got is on the little thistles and the delphiniums. Oh, I've got something. Right. So we have our hat box here. You buy these and you get 3. Another one inside here, and then a bigger one. This was the medium size, then there's a smaller one inside. So, and obviously then the smaller medium go inside the big one. So we're going to bring some of our foliage out. And I do this because I'm not doing a compact one. If it was compact, everything would be around the edge of the hat box at the top, but because I'm not doing a compact one, things will be coming out from the hat box, the rim of the hat box. So I'm going to place this in at the top, and I'm just going to let it hang slightly. And I've got another one where I'm going to do it here. Let's just cut it at an angle. In fact, just looking at the length, I'm going to go actually next to it because it is a little bit longer than this one. Let's turn it around the right way first. So it's just coming out from the sides there. Then I'm going to bring some one around here, coming out to the back. And then I will bring one coming out to the front as well, around here. So we've just created that shape. Now I've got these other pieces which I want in the center, around the center. I could chop one down and put the odd bits in, but I want to have, and I'm creating the height of my arrangement that I'd like it to be. And I'm placing 2 in. So that's what it looks like. Let me just center that a bit more. Like so. So we've just got it coming out like that. So I've got this piece here where 1, think I'm going to cut it down into little pieces where there's just one or two on the stem. And what I'm going to do with these is bring them down here at the bottom. So I'll place one in each corner to start with, corner of the foam, that's what I mean. Oh, my glue's very stringy again. I'm going to bring another one in with that one because the others have all got more than one on. Let me just cut this stem a little bit shorter. So I've placed these now on each of the corners at the bottom. I can't get that one in. Let's give it a bit more of an angle. There we go. So now we've got those in and around all of the corners. So that's what I wanted to do with that. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's better. So now my protea, I want to go in the center. I don't want it this long, so I will chop some of the length. And I will place it in between these two, what I've placed, lotus bush, and I will place it in between there. Just slightly, very similar height as the bush at the top. Let me just get these glue off my fingers. Right, so before I carry on, I have 3 of these. I've got more. I could get another if I wanted 4. But I'm considering having them all mixed in. Excuse me. Because the lady did ask for like an autumnal one. So I could mix those in. I'm not going to cut the stems because I may want them as a little bit of height. But before we do that, let's get in some of our oak leaves around the bottom as well. I'm going to just bring it in like that. I don't want it sticking out really far. I just want it in enough to, as we're covering down at the bottom, because we need to try and get the gap covered at the bottom as well. So that's the reason I've chose the bigger leaves instead, because the more smaller leaves you add in around to cover your foam, the more you're going to use if you choose smaller foliage. If you choose one with, you know, bigger leaves, you won't use as much. If that makes sense. So I'm going 2 on every side of the foam. When I used to work in real flowers, I mean, I still do do them for people, you know, funerals especially. I used to make a lot of these, guys, a lot. It was unbelievable that people wanted them as gifts, you know, birthday gift or Valentine's Day gift, Mother's Day gift. They still do. And they are wonderful things to give as a gift. So me doing this today, you could give it to somebody if it was the birthday, you know, in autumn for a gift, or just as a gift to a loved one if they like this sort of colour in total, you know, our overall. It could just be a gift. I've got 3 left. So I'm going to do the triangular position. So basically I'm going to bring 1 here, slightly lower than the protea. Then I'll bring 1 to the right hand side in the same area on the right, like so. And then I will bring 1 here. So I'm creating that triangle position with them around the protea. So it's like that at the top. So that's those added in. Now the bow, I'm not putting it in with the flowers. I'm going to attach it on the bottom here. So we won't need to place that on just yet. Right, let's get some of our eucalyptus. I've cut some down to save me a bit of time. I can't get them out. Oh. I'll just take those for now. So I'm wanting to add in the eucalyptus. You can, with them being push-ups, bring the leaves up. I tend to have one leaf one way, then I alternate and turn the other leaf that way, and so on. So they're not all facing the same direction. So for at the bottom, I will bring smaller pieces. So I don't want the stems that long. So I will just around here, just pop a few around that area. And again, I'm going to just bend that over a little bit. Have that coming out like so. And then I will place 1 on that side. I'll have 2 on the wider side of the foam and 1 on the shorter side. Oh, let me just get that glue string. And then 2 on the wider side here. Oops, a leaf's just dropped off. Let me just glue that back on. There we go. And then 1 on the shorter side of our foam. So we've added those in. Now I want, let's see. Oh, I've just caught myself. Again, I want 3 up above. Oh, let me just cut it at an angle. In between where I've placed the oak leaves on the top. I'll have them higher again. I don't want them as small. Now turn it around, place 1 here, and then I'll cut another one off, and then I'll place the last one in between. There. So then we've got it all balanced out beautifully. If you can see, doesn't that look pretty? Very calming, and I think I love these sort of colours, neutral. They would go anything neutral arrangement, you know, if you have in your home, is a great advantage, especially if you decide to change your decor at home. At least then you know it will go with your new colour of choice of decor. Right, so I've got 3, and I'm going to bring them in like this. I don't want to cut the stem because I want the height, and because I've got 3, I should really, I think, get another one out, just so I've got 4, and place 1 either side. So let me just grab another one that I can reach. Oh, let's grab one. Let me just check that you can see, guys, because I know it can get quite large, this arrangement. I think that's okay. So let me just take another one out. They do come just like that. You just open them up and have fun with them by placing them in however you would like them to sit. I love these sort of things because they've already done it for you, the work, because they've placed everything in that you'd need. And I like that sort of thing. So we've got 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm not facing them inwards like that. I'm turning them around with the longer part at here at the back. The highest one will go towards the protea. So the smaller pieces will then come outwards. So let me cut it at the bottom at an angle, so it's easier to get into the foam. So let's go from one side. Hang on, let's go through there. And the highest at the back. So it will just sit beautiful. Don't you agree, guys? Let's cut that one as well. And do the same with the others as well. Bring the higher point towards the centre and facing your florals or whatever pick you have. As they get smaller in the centre here, have them facing outwards towards yourself. Otherwise they will be hidden if you turn them the opposite way. And you can still manipulate them as well once you've got them in. I'm just cutting the ends so I can get an angle for it to be easier to place into the foam. And one here. Again, this would make a lovely autumnal gift. Let's bring that inwards. Like so. And our last one on this side. So we've created a really, beautiful, this could be a table arrangement if you wanted it on a table as well. Even in a hat box. Excuse me, place it on a cabinet, your coffee table, anything of your choice really. Or even in your bedroom, on your bedside cabinet or table. So I know we've got green. You see, I'm a bit concerned because I've got green. Everything else is autumn colour. And I think if I added these, it may take away that lovely neutral colour. Or I could place them around the centre so the green is mainly hidden. So let's just try that first with the Delphiniums. I'm going to place one in the centre. If it doesn't look right, I will pull it back out. So we'll go nearer to the centre. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. You can barely see because the foliage is mainly at the bottom, the green, and you just see mainly the top part. So we'll add those in as well. I want to, let's cut. We'll do 4 to start with. I'm just going to stand above so I can see where I'm placing. So I'm bringing them in the centre so you barely see the green on it. once we've got everything else in, I think that mainly the green would be hidden. So it's quite an airy arrangement. You know me, guys, I love my airy arrangements. Let's just push that one down a little bit more. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've just got those, so you can barely see them inside. I think if I had any, I could take these top parts off, the Delphinium, the floral, and we'll add those in as well. Without the actual foliage. And I'll bring these around the bottom. So we've got them coming out, a bit of floral at the bottom as well. So we've got that, so I don't need those foliage parts. Now I've got the Chinese lanterns. I think I'm going to need to get another bunch because I think I'm going to need more than 3. Let's just have a look where I'd like to add them in. Yeah, let me just grab another bunch as well, guys. Sorry about this. I should know better. I'll say another bunch. Oh my goodness, I can't get it out. It's that big. There we go. They're really long. Oh, I grabbed 2 bunches out. Silly me. I do fold the stems over to put them in my bucket, but they are really quite long. So let's just... I don't want to tear the packet and then rip off the flowers. So we've got another bunch to be on the safe side. Right. I definitely know that we're going to need to have one in and around. So I'm placing these on top here. I may use the smaller ones like that and add some along the bottom as well and let them hang over, because the actual Chinese lantern stem here has no wire in. It's just that main center stem. So that's what gives them that droopy look, which I adore. So we're going to just place in some around the top first, where I can see a gap. So it's in like that. And I'll do the same on the opposite. I'm again just cutting it at an angle to make it easier to insert. And because some of these Chinese lanterns are lower, they do act as depth as well in your arrangement. So that also helps to cover up parts of your foliage, your foam in your arrangement as well. I'm going to use a little one for around the side. Let's get another one that's small. Get a larger one. And one is needed around here. I may need the other bunch as well, just for the larger piece. So that one is in as well. So you've got it looking really pretty like that. Let me just snip off the top part of this one, because I want 4. It's a good job I got the other one out. I don't want any more of the longer pieces. Oops, let me just place that one. Move that leaf out of the way. There, let's get some more glue on. And then we'll place this one around here. So it's going to be full at the top with the Chinese lanterns. Again, this is a very wispy arrangement. And then I'm going to bring some around the bottom as well. So let's just cut that one as well. Save your stems. I say this especially for the new people. Save them. So if you buy any flower heads only and they don't come with stems, you can use things like this for them, or use these to attach an attachment on, or a pumpkin on it, things like that. So we'll get the smaller ones and we'll place these in and around the bottom. So it looks like the Chinese lanterns are all coming out through the bottom as well. I'm pointing them so that they're pointing downwards, so they look like they're drooping over the side. So that's, I want one around here. I'm placing them in each corner of the foam. I can't get that one in. Oh, I haven't cut it, that's why. That's why you should cut it at a 45-degree angle, guys, because otherwise, with a round stem at the bottom, it's harder to get in. There you go. There's your proof. So that's hanging over as well. Let's cut this one also. And then one here. In this corner of the foam. And let that one droop over as well. So we've got enough of the Chinese lanterns. We don't need any more. They look lovely and full. And if you turn it that way, you can see how it adds to, with all the Chinese lanterns inserted, with the colour that we've chosen. I don't know whether we need, I think with these, the baby thistles, they will go along the bottom. Now we do have our roses. So I want to use different colours, the champagne and the sandy colour. So I'm just going to get, I'm looking for the ones without the foliage on, because I don't really want to be adding in the foliage. Hi, hon. So we've got those. What I'm going to do with these is incorporate a few of the colours. I don't want them very tall. I want them to stay relatively around that height. And I'm just going to place one of each colour. So we've had the sandy colour, then the champagne, then we go back to the sandy colour. I'm just balancing it out. And then we go back to the champagne colour. So we're adding a little bit of colour in, so it's not too bland. Just that little pop of colour, you know, always makes it look quite pretty. If you look just there. And again, now I'm going to go under the roses, but in between these colours. So I start here with that colour, so I will bring the sandy colour in first. So I'm going to go in between the ones at the top. Just get that glue string on, because I'm creating our triangle position. And by doing this, it will balance out, if you do the triangle position, balance out the positioning of your floral. So then I'm going to use, I turn it, the sandy one and this one, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to place that in there. So I've created a triangle here. So then I'll use the last rose on the top here to get another one. So we've used that one. Let's see. I can't. Where did we go? Yeah. So I used this rose here, champagne, and then the next one in line to place this one to make a triangular position. And I'm going in the bottom with these, so I'm just extending that colour of the floral around the bottom as well. So then I'll use the last one there. Trying to get the ones where I haven't got any foliage on. I may have to pull some foliage off. So we use this one, and then we bring one down here for that triangle. Like so. So you've brought a bit of that colour in and around. So now you can carry on if you want to go to the next level down. So you've gone here. If you want to go under here and bring some in at the bottom, you do the same theory. You use the two roses here and then place one down here to create your triangle. So then it becomes, when you look at all these four here, it sits like a diamond shape. So we'll bring some down at the bottom. I don't want it to just be plain. So we finished on a sandy colour, so we'll use the champagne to go in between, and I'm pushing it further in. I don't want it sticking out as much, so it gets pushed in further. So we do the same around here. Use those and come down here. Oops, wrong position, sorry guys. And again, I'm not pushing it in, having it sticking out too far. Let me take the foliage off. I'm taking the foliage off because I don't want green in the arrangement. I know we've got it but it's very minimal, you can barely see it. So I'll take these two and bring them this rose down here. And you just keep doing that as you go around. So then we've added colour. On 3 levels. Let's just see, 1, 2, 3, one more. And we don't need any more. So there we have a wonderful arrangement around with adding in some colour with the champagne colours and the like sandy tone to go with the foliage and everything we have placed in. Now I don't think I've cut the allium. Well, we could add some in. Let's have a look at our wheat. Now I want to bring in some of the wheat. Let me choose which colour. Yeah, it has to be that one. I've got single picks in this one, so we'll dot these around the arrangement. I don't know how many we're going to need, so I'll just take a handful out. Because we're going to be using the berries in that dark tone, so we'll keep it with the light. With the alliums, I think I'd bring them around here. I don't really think they need to be, or they could actually. Oh my gosh, choices! Let's get the alliums in first, with them being floral. I've brought one fresh bunch out, and I've also cut one fresh bunch. So let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to bring some of the alliums up. The grass on the alliums are push up, so you can have them however you like. If you wish to have them all up as a cluster to the top where the head is, then that's fine. I don't want that because I find looks like it's a star around the allium, and it's slightly, not much, hiding the flower. So I'm wanting to bring some of the grass down so it looks more natural. So then in your arrangement, you'll have some of this grass at a lower height than these, placing them all at the top. So I'm going to just place one in here. And just push it a little bit more. Like so. So I've placed that there. You may not see it as much as obviously the Chinese lanterns, but it's a different texture, and it's adding that lovely texture to the arrangement as well. So I'm placing in 3 at the top. I don't need any more than the 3 at the top. So let's cut. So where I've placed the 3, again, I'm going to do the same. If you constantly think of that triangular position when you're placing the same flower on different levels, you will get them balanced correctly and they will look more pleasing to the eye than having 2 next to each other and nothing here. So I will bring this to create the triangle here with those. So we'll bring it lower down. But I'm pushing it in a little bit more again. As I come further down, I push them in slightly further. So now we've got that triangle. So then I do it with the other. I've got one piece here, what's just grass. So I could bring that in the centre and use that for that, because there's no floral on it. And with it being quite tall, let me just tidy the stems up. And with it being push-ups, I could place it in and around the protea at the top. Oh my gosh, they're so hard to cut. Oh, did you hear that, guys? Cracking. So let's get this one in around the centre. Like that. And then I'm going to spread the leaves around. Let's just bend that over. So I'm going to bring some of the leaves and that and bring them around the protea like so. So then the others, I will place these in the same as I've just done that first one on the next level down at a triangular position. And then this one, that was a bit long. Let's cut it a little bit. So that one. So we'll bring that one in here. Yeah, so as you go further down, you want to bring in your stems, shorten your stems to come down, because you don't want them the same length as these stems, and then your arrangement will just be coming out here and you will lose the sight of your hat box. So I'm going to just dot some wheat in and around anywhere I feel, just to add a little texture within other things. Bring one up at the top. I'm just popping them in, and then I'm going to go down to the next level below with them once I've made sure I've got enough. I think one more around here in there. So then now I'm going to bring some down to the bottom. Bring whatever's up above, if you can, in and around the bottom as well, so it balances it all out. And just slightly bend them over, just to give them that little droopy effect, so they're drooping downwards. pushed in a little bit more. That's it, so it's not. And I'm just going around the bottom, and I'm going about around 6 inches from each other that I'm placing them. Oh yes, I had a lovely lady say she was a bit concerned about me bending over my hair getting in the glue pan. That's another lady who's said that. I know, I must remember that the glue pan's right next to me. I do forget. God, I don't know what that is. And then we'll place our last one around here. So we've got all those added in around the top. Oh, oops. Around the top and the bottom. So now I want, again, I haven't taken a lot of these out. Our berries. I just want to dot these again. Different texture. I'm going to have 3 at the or 4 at the top. And I'm going to go each side of the foam, on one on each side. So then that balances the positioning of those out. So they're all around. And then I've got 4 more, and I will do the same at the bottom, but I will go in between where I've placed the ones on the top at the bottom. And again, I will bring these in shorter. I may cut the stem actually. I don't need it that long. Just to bring a little bit of the berry down at the bottom. So let's cut these as well. So again, I'm going in between each of the ones above and placing this at the bottom. Again, bringing that little bit of a colour and different texture. Gosh, that's a lot of glue on that. Different texture as well, and contrast. And again, I'm pushing these in further. I don't want them sticking too far out. As you can see, going right at the bottom, and I'm pushing them in like that. So that is those, and I've got now left my little thistles, and these are all going to go around the bottom of the arrangement instead of the top, because I'm not wanting the green in colour to be on top. So as you can see, that's what we have at the moment. A lovely wispy and airy neutral colour hat box arrangement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, I've only got 5 out. So we'll work with 5. And again, I'm pushing these in even further because I don't really want to see too much green, if any, if I'm being quite honest. I've put new glue sticks in my glue pan today. I don't know if it's that what's making it quite stringy. So as you can see, they're just right under, and the reason I'm placing these really far under is to hide any pieces of foam that may be just like here, as you can see, that may be just slightly on show. And because they're like a little cluster, they will cover that up for me. The same here. There's a little bit here. So I'm pushing them really far in. There's one under here, so you do the same. If you struggle to get things in, now that's a little bit, my hand's slipping a little bit onto that. Just get your flat nose pliers and they will give you a bit of a helping hand. So that is all our florals and foliage placed in our hat box. Now we have our bow. So you can choose which you'd like to be. I'm just going to sit down. Which you would like it to be near the front. And I'm looking basically for the biggest gap on the hat box under here. So that I wouldn't put my bow here because that is hanging over to, quite a lot. So I'm going to look for where there's not much going on. To be quite honest, I find that is, as you can see, there's a little like curve around here. What the bow would fit quite snug in there. If I just lift it, and it would look lovely there. So you could make that the front of the arrangement. So I may have to cut the tail ends. I don't want them dragging on the floor. So we'll see to that once we have placed the bow in. So now, because I'm going to be placing this in foam, the wire, by pushing it in the styrofoam, will just bend. So I've got a thicker wire here. You can get a stem from something you may have cut, again like this, to use. That, in fact, that might be better because it's brown and it goes with the arrangement. Trying to avoid green. So I'll show you how I do it when I use things from stems. So I cut at least about 8 inch. That's all I cut, if I can get it. There we go. I tidy the stem up a bit to make sure that nothing's, sticking out and looking untidy. And then it goes thinner at this end, so the thicker part I'm going to put into the styrofoam. So I'm going to cut this at an angle a bit, so it will make it easier to go into the foam. So all I do is just grab, go on, the stem, put a little bit of glue on, not much, and I'm sticking it to where I've twisted my wire at the top of the bow. So I get one piece of this wire and I will bring it one way to the right and twist it to the right. And just keep doing that. I'm not going down the stem, I'm keeping it all at the top. The wire's staying all at the top. I don't want to see any wire coming down the stem. And then the other piece, I will go, which side? To the left. I had to think then, wrap it around the left, the opposite way with the other piece of wire. Just pull on it, so obviously it holds onto the stem, and that's why I put a bit of glue on, so the wire will also stick to the glue. Now, if you don't want to see that, because there is now your pick for your bow. If you don't want to see that wire, get some floral tape or even just moss. Let me just pull a bit off and go around where you've placed the wire, just to cover up your mechanics. Oops. I think I may have pulled off a little bit too much. So that's covered now our mechanics. So then all you do is just fluff back up your bow. Now I like to see my bow sometimes shrinking within the arrangement. It's just my sort of style. So where we went here, underneath this rose, is where we're going to place our bow. So I don't think I'm going to need the stem that long, so I may have to just cut it a little bit shorter. So I'm going to place some glue on the stem of the bow. Let me just get that. And where I decide to place it, and then push it into the styrofoam. So then just play around with your tail ends. I've brought a bit of the Chinese lantern down to go in with it. We've got a bit of the rose here. You could lean so, get a bit of your floral or foliage. Just incorporate something so it looks like it's all, you know, within each other. And it's all growing within each other. So now my tail ends are way too long. I don't want them sitting like that. If you gave this as a gift, you wouldn't want that. So now I can see how far it is. I'm going to chop them. So I've cut those off, turn the bottoms of the frilled edge ones up so they don't fray. And I'm going to do the same with these. These are a little bit too long. I always like to rather have them too long to start with, that if I do ever decide to chop them, I know I've got enough tail ends to chop. I want them smaller up at the top. I wonder if I can just push this in a little bit more. It's very hard to get all the way in. Let me pull it out again, guys. I think it's just not, it's a little bit too long, the stem. I overestimated the length I need. So let's go back, because I wanted it to sit in just underneath, so to speak. I'm just sorting out my tail ends. one can go through there. This one up here, and then that one up there. So they're all intertwined, the bow with the arrangement. And now I'm just going to fluff up the loops. Bring this loop through here. I'm just weaving everything around through the floral. I'm just looking where the bow lies. This floral's going to have to pop through there. Maybe the wheat as well. Again, just so it looks like your bow is incorporated within the arrangement. And then just fluff it up with the rest. I think I'll bring the berries there. Just manipulating some so we've made it like the bow is now incorporated within our arrangement. Doesn't that look pretty? And again, it's very popular over here in the UK for these sort of things to be presented as a gift, whether it be for birthday, anniversary, an engagement, Valentine's Day, or just even as a gift to a loved one. They are very, very popular. Again, that's hence the reason I used to make a lot of them when I did real flowers. And you know, when I worked in they had the floristry business, people chose the floral that they'd like in them. You know, it wasn't a set floral, it was the choice of the customer. Oh, I did have these. I had these little twiggy bits, the short, they've come off. Now, I'll tell you what I did with these. These had flowers on. And when I took the flowers off and put them on single picks, they left me with like a twiggy piece. And I thought, oh, don't throw those away. Because if you make any arrangement and you need some twiggy bits, you could easily grab a pick like this, glue on the end, stick it to where the bottom, because they're not very long stems, near the bottom. Where's that piece of tape I've got? Get your floral tape. I'm going the same colour as the twigs and wrap it around. And I'll just keep going around like this. I'll go, you know, slightly down the stem. Can just get it open up straight. There we go. I'll go down towards near the bottom of the stem, just in case, you know, you want to use them for height, so you don't really want to see the green pick itself. And then I'll just come, you know, back up, double up on myself. Because it's such a short stem, I double up and I come double up right back to the top. And then on these I will get a little bit, use my glue gun usually, but I haven't got it on. Place a little bit of glue. Oh, I can't get none on that. Just on the tape. Go round so it doesn't come off with it being a short stem. Pull it And now you've created yourself a pick. Now, wouldn't they look nice in there? I've just noticed those, guys. Sorry, but needs must. When I think, again, the stem is a little bit longer here, so I'll go slightly higher. So I'm going to where the bottom sprig is on the twiggy bit. And like I say, these were flowers. They were little, oh gosh, what was they? I can't remember. I think there was little blossoms of some sort. And let me use some more. And I pulled them off and placed them individually on picks. And this is what I was left with. So just get... I should put my glue gun on, you know, I'm very naughty. It's because I don't use it a lot, because I've got the glue pan, so it's just there for if I have like area, you know, parts where I can't reach, or I'm placing something in on a wreath and the glue's not gone as far as I'd like it to go inside the wreath, so then I usually have my glue gun on for that sort of thing. It's very rare I use it. People have said to me that it looks so clean. It is clean. It's because it don't get used. But no, seriously, I'm very funny about that. I don't like to see the whole old glue on my glue gun. You know, everybody's different, but I don't. I'm like that with my glue pan as well. So how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, another 4 more. Let me put that there. And again, this is a tiny stem. So because it's twiggy bits and it's brown, and that's the colour that we're using, then I'm just going to stick these in. I'm going to try, I need to speed up really. Do it at the speed I usually do it if I'm off camera. Again, I just like to, you know, slow my speed down, especially for the new beginners. Some people don't use the glue to, you know, on the floral tape. That's okay. Again, everybody's got their own way of doing things. I just do it because I know this floral tape, as good as it can be, after a while, it does, the stickiness of it does reduce, and it lifts off from any stems. I've seen it too many times, so, you know, I glue it so it doesn't come off. It's just the way I work. I can't help myself. I think I'm a bit particular. Again, it's my mother's fault. I can't blame her really for everything. That's that one. So 2 more. Let's get these out of the way quick. Sorry guys, I know this is boring to watch, but it was just a last minute idea. When I just turned and noticed they were there. You don't need a lot of glue to hold it down. The floral tape. Now this is even a smaller stem, so I'm going to go slightly higher, not too much. And pull a little bit firmer with it and go around several times in that area. I'm not actually a fan of the feel of this glue. I find it's with the sticky substance. It is actually glue. The sticky glue, what's built into it. It makes my hands feel all, I don't know, what we say in Mansfield, gammy. Which means a bit, you know, not very nice feeling. A bit sticky feeling. Get that glue string off. Right, so now I've got them, I'm going to just pop these in. So because they're twiggy bits and they're brown, so all I'm going to do, and this is just again adding a little bit of different texture. So if you get anything like that, guys, save them. I'm always looking out for things that I could use, you know, to create something, you know, like this, the twiggy bits. And if you see, I'm just placing it in, and then I've got 3 here. I'll just bring some of these around. I'll bring one around here. Let's have a look. One near the bow. And I'm going to go just in between, through here. So you've got that twiggy bit with the bow as well. So there we have it. So that is our project for today, guys, complete. Isn't that a wonderful thing to have as a gift, an autumn arrangement, or just to sit in your house, you know, in your bedroom, in your hallway, your kitchen, dining room, anywhere. It is a neutral coloured arrangement, so that will fit absolutely and go with any decor of that you have in your home. Let's turn it to where the bow is that way. I'm going to just come back a little bit, lift up the camera. I'll leave it about there. Isn't that pretty? Now this would fit in my house because my living room is cream and gold. So this would fit in my gold accessories, not furniture. So this would fit in my living room on my coffee table. Perfect. So if you're ever wanting to do a hat box arrangement for, you know, a loved one or a family member, just as a gift to say thank you even, you know, one moment. It's cold. I don't like cold coffee. Just as a gift or anything like that, but they want the autumn arrangement, you know, feel where it looks very wispy. You've just added in some floral. You haven't gone over, I say over the top. We have got a lot of Chinese lantern pieces in, but I don't mind that myself. So, and just by giving it that bit of colour with the roses, again, keeping it on the neutral tones. So with the champagne and just a little bit darker, just to give it that little bit of pop, so you can actually spot the different colours in there. And again, the pure white, you know, and just having a focal flower on the top as well, which I've got the protea. You won't see the protea on the top, what it looks like, unless you stand above it. And then adding in the cream or off-white coloured alliums as well. And things like just one foliage that is darker. The rest of the foliage we've got on the pics and that is light. So the reason I wanted to add in a bit of darker foliage but in these tones is so that the light colours I've chosen will bounce off something that is darker, which you do need when you know, doing something neutral or any other colours of your choice. You always, again, I state, get rough with the smooth textures, you know, rough textures and smooth textures, mix them together. Then get the light coloured textures, coloured foliage and floral with the dark coloured foliage and floral, so they bounce off each other. And then also with the floral itself, get big floral and small floral. Obviously you can get floral, you know, in between those sizes, but always have big and small floral as well. So they, you know, you're not just looking at all big things, unless that's the sort of style you like. So again, you can see here we've got the big protea, we've got the medium size Chinese lantern heads themselves, and the just the small, well, I say similar size to the Chinese lantern, the roses. And then you have your little thistles, which are tiny. So, because thistles are a flower. So you've got here big, medium and small. So, you know, do that. And then you've got your alliums as well, your little alliums, which are around the similar size to the rose buds as well. And with the foliage, you know, you've got your light foliage, what we've got on the picks. And there's a bit, this is quite light on the alliums. So then you add in, and then you've got your oak leaves as well, which are light here. So then add in dark so it bounces off each other. And just bits of brown, like I've added the twiggy bits as well. That's, you know, added a bit more interest and something dark as well to bounce off all the light tones that are in the arrangement. So overall, I think that would sit lovely, if you can see, on anybody's table, anywhere in the home. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. A lovely airy autumn arrangement, just like I did the wreath where, oh, it's gone, it's sold, yeah. The one with the purple pumpkins, it's gone. So that went yesterday evening. So yeah, all of, you know, these tones and things like that, and having it airy, wispy, and making it look, you know, wild and autumn. Fabulous look. It's a fabulous look. So if you've, even if you haven't got an hat box, if you've got to just do a round or a square or rectangular container, just like lovely Diane did hers in a rectangular beautiful container, do that, and it's the wispy feel and the autumn twiggy effect to try and create with not as much floral or green in colour. Try to keep it to the light, you know, the creams, the whites, the tans, the sandy colours, champagne colours, really soft and, you know, neutral colours. And it's just a fabulous look, guys. Again, it's an all year round thing, to be quite honest. You could have this in your house all year round. So again, whatever container you may use, give it a go and have fun with it, you know, because you will love it. And save all your bits. Save all your bits. Like I did with the twiggy bit. They really do come in handy. And save on a lot of pennies too. So I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. I won't be here tomorrow. It's my busy day. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I hope that you keep creating, and, you know, some beautiful and, you know, stunning creations, whether it be for yourself, family member, you know, a friend, or even to sell. You know, just enjoy and have fun. So have a wonderful weekend, guys. Take care, and please keep your comments coming. I always will answer. It may not be straight away, as I'll maybe working or delivering, you know, a order or for a customer, or even chatting with a customer. So, you know, I will either, you know, usually reply within the day, you know, the following day. So again, keep your comments coming. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. God bless. And please subscribe, share and like to the world, to everybody who you know. Come along and create something beautiful like this for your home and to enjoy it. So have a great time, guys, and I'll see you next week. Love you all. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Right, now I figured this out yesterday, how to get my phone off. I just hope I don't do it. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Oh, how good was that? Right, so here's a close-up. There is our bow with the lovely champagne coloured rose and a little thistle and the Chinese lantern. And the bow again is with the fluffy edge, or I forgot what you call it. I said it earlier on. And the picks where they are all, I don't know if I can zoom in. Right, let me try and sort this phone out. One moment. It's not doing it now. Where they're all like furry. Can you see the fur on them? Doesn't that look divine? And even the pine cones are furry as well. And then you've got your cluster berries. Even they are. Look at the fur on the cluster berries, guys. So we've got those. We've got our lovely eucalyptus with the gold on them. Our alliums. And this, the colour of the leaves on the alliums. Isn't that pretty? Then we've got our berries. Our self-made twiggy bits. As you can see, that's where some flowers were on the top here. I've just pulled them off, but you wouldn't know, they just look like twigs. There's our lovely protea as well, and our lotus bush in the dark tones to bounce off of everything. What else, guys? Oh, where's it gone? And our oak. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So we've also got the wheat as well, which some people call harvest. That's added in. And our delphiniums. So we've got those. They've got a bit of green on top, but you can barely see it. But then again, so has the protea, where it's got green around the bottom. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. And I hope that you give it a go. A lovely autumn arrangement to sit on your table, anywhere in your home, and make something really beautiful and stand out and have it for all year round, which would go lovely with any decor and colour in your home. So give it a go, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all next week. Bye for now. Bye-bye.